everybody, and welcome to That Real Texas Team podcast. My name is Curtis Brown, the host of the channel. Ronnie will be checking in with us here in a little bit. He is coming home from work at the moment. Go ahead and hit the like, subscribe button. We're trying to grow the channel. We're at 52 subscribers at the time of this recording, and we keep climbing. Thank you to that. We finally hit our 50 subscriber goal, and in 4 months, that's not too terrible. So thank you to everybody who's been with us from the start. And I hope that one day we can keep this growing and growing and growing until I can, have nothing but in-person pods. But at the moment, this is where we're at. So, speak of the devil, here he is.
What up, fellas?
Ron.
What up?
How are you, bud?
I'm great. I just got home from work. So sorry for the delay, everybody. I know I know it wasn't really all that much fun without me here.
Well, I mean, we just got rolling. So, I mean, um, training camp begins today, and the
Hell yeah.
Texans already have, there were a lot of questions about stuff going into training camp,
Mhm.
and already the wide receivers are showing out. Now, my question to you is this: the wide receivers showing out, is that a symptom of having great wide receivers, or is that a symptom of not having great secondary team?
Oh, that's a good question.
Because I was watching a couple videos from channel friend Cody Stutes. John Mechie just torched Jeff Okuda off the line on a particular rep. And when you got a guy like John Mechie who's coming back from, cancer and an ACL and is finally getting his legs back underneath him in a football sense, and he's able to do that to a guy that, in the offseason we were thinking might be corner two.
Okay, so here's my thing about that. So I'm the type of person who likes to give the benefit of the doubt. You know what I'm saying? So, I've been following, CJ, Steph, Tank, all of our, new, our star receivers on Instagram, and they've been putting in a lot of work lately, working together, trying to get that brotherhood going, going into the season. So I
Yep.
feel like with all that extra work that our receivers have been doing, especially, you mentioned John Mechie torching Jeff Okuda, John Mechie has been there, working with them. So I feel like all those extra reps and all that extra work is paying off. And with, our secondary, we got a pretty good secondary, So, our receivers, torching up our secondary, I think that's a good thing. And, the corners and safeties and stuff, I don't think that they've been doing as much work as, our offense has been. So, them trying to get back into the rhythm of playing defense, it's the first day of training camp.
Yeah.
Give it a few days, and we'll see where it goes.
Apparently, they opened up training camp with a deep shot from CJ to Tank Dell that if Kamari Lassiter may have had just a half a step more quickness, might have been able to get there and break up the pass. But
Mm-hmm.
Tank Dell and CJ Stroud early and often in training camp. So I'm excited to see the chemistry that is happening. I'm excited to see how exactly Stephon Diggs and his personality will fit amongst this group. And apparently Nico Collins has said in the press conference after the game or after the practice that Stephon Diggs is already teaching him stuff. So,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if we can make a good player great by having, an elite level player such as Stephon Diggs, even if he is on the way downhill,
Yeah.
if we can have that guy rubbing off, pause on Nico Collins, then we're setting ourselves up beautifully for the future.
100%.
Yeah.
100%. I was talking to one of my customers today. He's a big time Chiefs fan, and we got into talking about a little bit of football, and he was saying that Houston, they've come up a lot from where they were, 2 years ago, and he is genuinely worried about our offensive core.
Yeah.
He's genuinely worried about how our offense is going to destroy their defense as of right now. Like on
Yeah.
paper, our offense will destroy their defense, but then again, I told him it all comes down to the chemistry and how everybody works well together. The Chiefs defense, they have that camaraderie. They've been with each other for a little bit. This new Texans defense we've only seen with the team a year or two. Going into year two, with these new ads, so you never know. But coming from a Chiefs fan, talking like that about Houston, I think that's pretty good. Because that tells me that our offense and our team in general is striking fear in the AFC.
Oh yeah. I mean, if it's not, then they're just not keeping track of what Houston's been doing. I mean,
Mhm.
even if Joe Mixon is Devin Singletary plus a receiving game,
Mhm.
that's a win. Like
Mhm.
he didn't need to be like. And I asked this question to Cody Stutes the other day. Um, what is a good bar to set for Joe Mixon?
I would
Is
say
is his rushing like do his rushing and receiving stats kind of complement each other in a way, or does like his receiving ability kind of eat into his rushing ability?
I would say I would like to see 1,500 all-purpose. Um, with kind of like that 50-50 balance. But
Yeah,
realistically, I could see, like a 75 25 leaning towards the run game.
yeah. I mean, he's going to be a productive player. He's going to be asked to do a fair amount in the system. But
Mhm.
I think if the hype around Damian Pierce this offseason is true and he comes out and he's able to do things, I think that lends itself to the idea that they could do a little bit more of a two-back system
Yeah.
and have
Formation.
maybe Damian Pierce be first, second down, and then Joe Mixon maybe be second and third down,
Yeah.
and kind of splitting what they do, confusing everybody. I mean,
Mhm.
honestly, the more weapons they have, the better.
Oh,
Um,
for sure.
it's kind of like with San Francisco. They just never seem to run out of somebody they can do something tricky with.
Mhm.
And then slow it coming from that system. I think it's going to be
So
a similar situation.
let me ask you a question.
Okay.
With with how well our offense is on paper right now, do you and how well our offense did last year, do you think that we could see more trick plays this season?
I definitely think we're going to see some wrinkles. I think that while CJ Stroud adapted very quickly to last year's playbook, I think that everybody in the NFL has had the offseason to adapt to last year's playbook.
Mhm.
So they're going to have to add something tricky,
Oh yeah.
something that really kind of, you know, builds like you as an offensive coordinator, you want to have plays that, you know, don't look the same, but are the same play.
Yeah.
Uh,
Like your bread and butters.
yeah. Your inside dive kind of
Mm.
moves. You can throw a jet motion on there and really kind of throw everybody through a loop. Um, and I think there'll be a lot more motion. I think there's going to be a lot more kind of resting on CJ's shoulders when it comes to the passing game. I think he's had another offseason to kind of digest, but I'm worried about a junior slump,
I could see that.
and only because there's a chance that Slowick leaves after
Mhm.
the season.
Yeah. It also depends on who we get as an offensive coordinator.
Yeah, I mean, will it be another disciple from Shanahan? Will it be an
That'd be
entirely new system? I mean, ideally, we just keep replacing folks who were a part of the system,
Mhm.
and we just promote them from within.
I mean,
Uh,
you wouldn't want to go from like a pass heavy offense to a run heavy offense like that, like
yeah.
or
Now,
a zone to I'm brain farting right now. The other kind of run.
the other kind of run.
Yeah. There's zone.
Oh, zone, power, and gap schemes.
Yeah. Yeah. Those
Yeah.
brain farting for a second.
No, you're fine. Yeah, no, you don't want to switch it up too much. You don't want to make your quarterback have to do more thinking than is necessary. So I'm concerned about that. But honestly, I think this season, I think the Texans are going to have a more potent offense that could probably strike at any time. And I
Mhm.
know that D'Amico and the rest of the staff wants to run the ball significantly more than they did last year. So I think that
Yep.
with the addition of Joe Mixon, I think Damian Pierce and Joe Mixon and hopefully some of these offensive linemen are there to make CJ Stroud's life a little easier and take some of the pressure off.
That would
The
be
games,
nice.
yeah, for real. The games that he had the biggest issues were the games where we had absolutely no running game,
Hmm.
absolutely none. So we figured that out. I think we're going to be okay.
I agree. There's a lot that goes in. There's just so much that goes into an offense that you have to be ready for.
Yeah,
It's
it's absolutely incredible the amount of stuff that these people have to do. But um, someone else on YouTube that you should be checking out is Kurt Benkert. He's on YouTube. He's a former NFL quarterback, plays a lot of Madden, but he also talks about like dissecting a defense.
Mhm.
There's realistically only like 7 total things that a defensive coverage can do to you. So you need to be able to identify those things, and you don't look at the front 7, you look at the back 4.
For you.
If the back 4 is like if there's a big gap, then you can kind of tell they're doing cover 2, but like it's the little stuff like that that I'm trying to learn more of and enjoy watching his content for. So if you're out there trying to learn more about the game, Kurt Benkert is a solid option. Also, check out the QB School, JT
Yeah.
O'Sullivan.
Yep. That's a good
Solid.
one.
um, but yeah, no, I mean, we have a really solid team. It's just going to be, um,
What can we do?
and this kind of bleeds into what my main topic for today's podcast was going to be. We've toured the AFC South. We've talked to them. We've been on their shows. How, after all of those things, how are we feeling about our standing within the AFC South? Has any of that changed your opinion,
So the Colts. What was his name? I don't remember his name.
Alex?
Alex. Yeah, and Trevor from the Jags. They brought up some really good points from their perspective. Um, and then I can't remember that guy's name from the Titans.
Mayor.
Yeah, Mayor. He was. Now, I don't mean no disrespect at all, but I didn't agree with anything, with almost anything he said,
Yeah.
because I know
Well,
he's
yeah.
probably gonna watch this podcast and be like, "Arr, arr, arr." But
Mhm.
I mean, like no disrespect at all. I didn't agree with anything that he said. I still think that the Titans are gonna be the number 4. Um, but Trevor and Alex, they made a lot of really good points about their teams, and even Houston's. So it's going to be a close race. Um, I still think we have it at the number 1, but at the same time, so do the Jags and the Colts. It's
Yeah.
just who's gonna work the best as a team and get those wins.
Yeah. So what you're saying is like, even though we talked to those guys, you're still feeling as if we finished first.
I think so. Yeah, either
Okay.
first or a very close second, like
Okay.
last year.
Yeah, I'm kind of on board with you there. I don't think that there's an opportunity for a sophomore slump as like for the whole team. I think we might have some players kind of regress a little bit back to the average, but um, it's another year with D'Amico. It's another year in the
Mhm.
same offense. There's a lot of familiarity, even though we brought in some bigger names. In theory, we've eliminated CJ Stroud having the potential for a letdown season. In theory.
In theory, yeah.
So I think we're going to be gearing up for a really really competitive season, and we have like one of the top 3 most difficult schedules in the NFL.
Yeah.
So we're talking like ultra competitive football for 17 games.
Yeah. Every game, like, I don't think we have any pushover games.
I mean, we probably do. I think we play the NFC East.
Yeah, that's right.
So we got at least the Giants and the Command Skins.
Yeah.
But we don't know what those teams are going to look like. We don't
Yeah.
know if Jaden Daniels is going to be the dude. We don't know if well, we know Daniel Jones isn't him, but
We-
you know, there's all like a couple years ago the Giants were in the playoffs.
That's true.
And
Like,
dude threw
like
like
6 years
15
ago.
touchdowns. What?
Wasn't that like 5 or 6 years ago?
No, that was not last season, but the year before. They got in with like 10-7.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Daniel Jones had like his career year of like throwing 12 touchdown passes to 7 interceptions. Seriously. It was something abysmal like that.
That's
And
insane.
then yeah. Anyway, yeah, I think there's a lot to this team that's going to be honestly like just must-see television.
Oh yeah.
Because things go well, then you're not going to have any issues out of Stephon Diggs. Things go poorly,
That's when
Stephon Diggs is going to be dragging all sorts of headlines.
Yeah.
I
doing
think
on the field and shit, pulling at AJ Brown or AJ
Antonio,
Brown.
yeah. Stephon Diggs is one hell of a talent, and I hope we can manage that personality well, but time will tell. We've got an ultra competitive division on our hands. We've got an ultra competitive AFC. This is by no stretch of the imagination going to be an easy season. So we need all hands on deck. We need as many people healthy as possible.
And I don't know if the Texans are listening, but don't be a glass O line.
Please.
We need you.
Yeah, for the love of God. Titus, talking to you, bud. Stay healthy. Unless, of course, Blake Fisher can just be the dude. Yeah, I'm cool with that. Yeah, no, but like we've got a couple of positions that are going to be going through training camp that we're watching. Obviously, we talked about wide receivers already. The defensive end room, it just seems so stacked. At least in the sense of like how the Texans are labeling them, with Autry as a defensive end, Mario Edwards Jr., Daniil Hunter, Will Anderson, Derek Barnett. We've got Jerry Hughes. We got dudes in there who have produced in this system. We've got dudes in there who have produced in similar systems. This defensive front is probably going to live and die by the pass rush.
Oh yeah,
because
we got some run stoppers in there too. Like we just picked up Malik Fisher. I don't know if you saw that or if I told you about it, but he played in the UFL, and I watched a little bit of film on him. He's a dude. He's a dude for sure.
And we also got the homeboy from the Jets and the Jaguars, Alonso Fatukasi. He's a big space eater, but we've got a couple of those, and then we've got a bunch of versatile guys like Danico Autry and Mario Edwards Jr., who are bigger dudes, but are also agile enough to be on the edge. Yep. So I think the defensive end room is the one to watch. I don't know exactly how many people they're going to end up keeping in that room, but the more the merrier, honestly, because we're going to need them.
We'll know by August.
Yeah, I know. Well, we're getting there. We're not too far away from the first from the Hall of Fame game.
Yep.
So I mean, we're 2 weeks away. Hold on, let's digest that for a second. We're like 2 weeks away from football being back. I'm gonna watch the Hall of Fame game, y'all. I don't know about y'all, but I'm gonna watch.
Is it on a Thursday?
Yeah,
I'm taking it. I'm taking it. I don't even care.
I'm not gonna be there, guys.
Sorry, the Hall of Fame. Not coming in.
Yeah. Yeah. And then are you going to try to watch the Hall of Fame ceremony? I know Andre Johnson's being inducted this year. That'll
Is it
be
the game?
do what?
Is it before or after the game?
It's usually before the game.
Then I'll probably try to watch it. Yeah.
Yeah. Like
Like I
it's
said,
usually like the day before.
I'm taking off that day, so
Yeah. Hell yeah.
or
All
I'll
right.
watch the highlights of it on TikTok or YouTube. I don't know yet.
Yeah. So let's kind of stay in that same vein. Andre Johnson being inducted to the Hall of Fame.
Woo!
J.J. Watt, you would think in a few years his name will be called to go into Canton.
Uh-huh.
Who would be the third Texans player, in your opinion, to be able to make it into the Hall of Fame? Is it D-Hop?
Either D-Hop. I don't know. I don't think so.
D-Hop's had a very consistent, very, very, very good career.
He did, but was it Andre Johnson good?
I mean, yeah. Andre Johnson at least had consistency at quarterback to a degree.
That's true.
I mean, there was that one season where DeAndre Hopkins almost had 1,000 yards with Brian Hoyer and Ryan Mallett trying to figure it out.
Yeah, I could see D-Hop and Arian Foster.
Arian Foster would be a good one. I don't know that he's got the largest body of work to be able to make it in there, but they have made concessions for other players. I mean, but I think he's got like 7,000 career yards on the ground. So I mean, that's a pretty solid number.
Yeah.
Anybody else that kind of
8.
who?
He was in for 7 or 8, right? Year
7 feels right.
7, 6 or 7, right in that area.
Yeah. I mean, he had a really, really solid run here.
Yeah.
And apparently he's a very skilled poet. Yeah. Yeah.
Would have never thought.
I think after that, you're looking at D'Amico Ryans.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, who else has a big enough body of work to necessitate being put in the Hall of Fame?
I mean, if Brian Cushing wasn't on that shit,
yeah,
maybe.
Yeah,
but he just had to get on that shit. If everybody knows what we're talking about, too.
Come on, Cush, what are we doing?
Cush was on that Cush. Come on now.
that was Laramie Tunsil on draft day. For those who don't remember, there was when Laramie Tunsil got drafted by the Dolphins, there's a reason he slid so far. It's because there was a video of him wearing a gas mask, just ripping a fat bong that surfaced. So he slid all the way down to wherever the Dolphins picked him. But anyway, so with today's camp kind of being all about the offense, I imagine that D'Amico is going to get that defense riled up to have a big day tomorrow. Or whenever the next day of camp is, probably tomorrow. But how long do you think it is before D'Amico Ryan's defense can reach an elite level? Like, do you think that happens this season, or do you think that's something that happens in a season or two?
If we can keep the guys we got for another year, at least, I think we can hit that elite level next year. Shh.
Easy, Cesar Milan. Yeah, I agree. I think that we're a few players away at a few different positions to like defensive tackle. I'm just not sold on it right now. Right now we have serviceable guys.
Yeah.
But we don't have anybody who like instills fear. You know what I mean?
That also comes with experience. Like we got some, guys that haven't met the right scheme yet or haven't met the right coaches to push them to that next level. Yeah. So maybe with our coaches, we might see a next level interior.
Yeah, it's possible. I'm not ruling it out that we could have a stellar season on defense this season. I think that Derek Stingley continues to put a good foot forward. I
Mhm.
think that Jalen Petrie, with another year in the system, has a phenomenal opportunity to, be one of the 2 starting safeties all year long,
Yep.
and definitely improve over his sophomore year. But
Yeah. He had a rough one last year. That was tough.
yeah. Now I'm hoping that Kamari Laster can come in and be cornerback 2 at this point, because if Jeff Okudah is getting torched by John Mechie in practice, then he's
Uh-huh.
probably going to be a long shot to make the team.
Yeah.
And yeah, there's a lot of rotational guys beyond them. So I mean, he's not like the most like, oh, we got to have him. So I would not be surprised if he ends up getting cut. I would not be surprised if we have a couple surprise cuts in the wide receiver room, because we've got a lot of different dudes in the wide receiver room who do a lot of different shit.
Yeah.
So I feel like it kind of lends itself to the idea that, some of the guys that we're expecting to be on the roster will be trimmed out, but you never know. I think this is a good spot to go ahead and wrap it up. But do you have anything else?
Um. No. No, I don't.
Hell yeah.
No.
Hell yeah. Folks, go ahead and hit the like, subscribe button, hit the notification bell so you don't miss any future content. Look out for the shorts, and most of all, be good people. Ron, thanks for coming on tonight, brother.
Thanks for having me.
Of course, of course. Be good people, y'all.